everyone, thanks so much for coming through to this video today. And today we are going to colour with markers this drawing of the snowboarder. There is a video already done of how to draw him. What I have done this time is use the printable that I have put on the community tab and linked for you. You can download them and print them. So I've used that to then trace out the picture onto proper marker paper. So I do recommend you look into buying marker paper because it brings the best out of the pens. It really helps to make them look nice and vibrant. Okay, so that's that. Things you'll need marker pens, alcohol preferably, that's what I'm using, the brush markers from Ohuhu, and I have picked out a blue and a grey for working on the clouds. I have picked out a blue and a green, it's like a yellowy green for his clothes, and like a red for the board. And that's all you'll really need to start with. You may find that you have other things that you'd like to add. You could use gel pens, things like that. Do it how you wish. Remember, the downloadable is on the community tab, so get that printed. If you don't want the downloadables and you fancy having the book that you can take out with you, it's here. It's winter themed, and all of the videos to go with every single design will be coming out over January and February. So let's get started. I'm going to go straight in, I think, on colouring in the guy. Let's do our snowboarder. Right. So we're going to use the brush end, and we're just going to come in lightly, I think, where the front of his jacket is, and just kind of give him some styling of a line coming down the front and across his jacket. Do the same with the blue, but this time we're going to come in across the side and fill in the rest. So it's very much a blue jacket mainly, but I'm just adding in that nice green, lime green accent. Coming round, I'm trying not to mix the colours, trying not to let them blend into each other, because I do want quite a bright jacket. Now it does look on the screen as though it might be not showing it as green as it actually is in real life. So just bear in mind it's a really strong lime green, but on your screen it might look okay. Okay, there we are. I'm going to give him the cuffs. I'm going to give him lime green accent. There we go. Now I'm not going to leave it as just a flat colour. What we're going to do is come in and darken areas, but I'm actually just going to use the same colour, because what I would normally do is have a medium, a light and a dark. So whenever you're colouring anything, you want to be thinking about value. So the darkest to the lightest in any colour, and then build up the layers from the light to the dark, and that will give the 3D-ness. But what I'm going to do this time is just use the same colours. So I'm going to go back into the lime green. I'm going to darken it underneath his neck. Now I'm using the bullet nib end this time, not the brush, because I do just want to layer up that colour so that it's looking darker than anywhere else on him. Okay, I'm coming in under his cuffs there. And I'm just coming in and just drawing some like movement lines there. Now, it's barely noticeable, but I know it's there. I know it's there. I can see. Right, we're coming in again with the brush pen. So underneath here is where it's going to have some darkness, because that is where the shadow is underneath his arm. Same for here. We can come back in with our brush pen to make sure this is where we're getting some shadow in. We need to create that 3D-ness with the shadow, whereas on top it won't. Gonna come in again with the brush pen. I don't feel it's darkened it enough. We may have to get a slightly darker green, we'll see. No, that's coming out much better now. We want to have that shadow in place so that it looks 3D. Just do a bit more there, make sure he's darker there and there. Perfect. Okay, so coming back in again with the blue brush marker, I'm just going to go over his trousers fully. I'm going to go in the movement of the direction of the movement of the clothes, so that as you fill in, it will naturally make your eye look and think, oh, it's going in that direction. Okay, now we're going to darken underneath here because this is the bottom part of him and his legs. And we're going to blend that in. And then we want to have some more dark in here because that is also where it will be hiding from the light, and here at the bottom of the leg. Okay, that will dry in a moment, so we'll reassess once it's dried where else we need to put it. I'm going to do his boots like a nice lime green, I think, and that brings more green into it. Okay, and then once it's dried, we can go back in and put any shadows in if we think we need them. Okay, let's go for using the grey now. So I have got the grey and the blue for the sky, but we need to go and do his helmet. Let's say his helmet matches as well. Let's just do a nice green helmet. There we are. Oh, and that's the coat under there, so we need to get that in. We need a skin colour. Let's have a look. I didn't think about a skin colour for him. Let's go for R18. See if I can find that. R20. Maybe that will do. It's fine. So we've got a nice skin colour, and I'm just going to go over lightly. That's the only skin we can see on him because obviously he's got his snow kit on. So let's give him some green gloves. He's very well matched. He's very matchy. We like matchy. Right. Green here. As I'm doing this, please do subscribe. Subscribe for all the videos. Click the notification bell so that you get reminders when my videos come out. And please do like and comment because it helps YouTube know that you're watching my videos and will share them to other people and help my channel to grow. Okay, I'm coming in now just to give like some shadow on the glasses and on the back of the headband. I'm going to use the green to just create a little bit of shadow here on the back. You can just see that there. So he's looking a lot more 3D, more real now. So next is our board. Now I'm just going to turn it round this time because you always really want to be drawing or colouring, painting towards you because you get more control. So I'm just going to come in with a nice bright red. There we go. And I want to do that edge now, so I need to make sure I've got the point there so that I can do the finer detail. Looking good. Okay, so let's put some shadow under here because it is the underside. And then that will make it look even more 3D once it's dried. Probably can't even really see that, but it's darker. Like that. And then we can put that there because that's the other side that we can't see, so that will be darker. Okay, happy with that. Time for the clouds. So for the clouds and the snow, I always like to have the blue. The clouds, I'm just going to go around now with this light grey, and we're just going to do these like circular movements because then that helps build up a feeling of the cloud being a 3D shape, and we're not just thinking about just colouring in. All right, so don't do flat colouring. Always be thinking about the shapes and the 3D and the movement. I'm just going to work my way around all of the other clouds. Now I do actually do these with you. I don't practice them, so I think it's best you learn from my thinking as I go along and the mistakes that I make, because that way you learn better. There's no point me coming on with this pristine, well-practiced piece of art. You haven't seen my mistakes. You haven't seen the learning that's happened. That's no good for you. So this is the first time I've coloured this in, and you get to see where I might go wrong, things I might change next time, and you can learn from me. Okay. Nice. So we've got some very fluffy clouds. Now I'm going to come in with the blue a little bit, and we're just going to come in, not with that one. We need a much lighter one. Let's try. It's a nice icy cold colour, but it is quite bright. That one was PB7, wasn't it? Or BG4, I think. I've seen it somewhere. BG4, BG8. Ah, there it is. Got it. Right, so you can see here it's a much paler blue, and I just want to bring some of that in because in a minute in the snow we are going to be putting blue inside. So we're just bringing the colour to give it some balance in from other areas into other areas. Okay. Right, so now we're going to come and do the snow, which is basically this here. And I'm just going to go over it with that one colour for the moment. Again here. We know snow is white, but in our heads we think of a very pale blue as being cold. So it really works when you're doing snow to use a very light, chilly, cold blue. Because obviously snow isn't actually white. Snow does actually reflect the sky. So we think of it as white, but it actually has all of the colours around it in it. Right. That's good. Happy with that. So now we can come in with the slightly darker blue, which is what I wanted, and just do some of the darker layers and blend it through here. I'm going to blend it by putting the lighter one over the darker one. There we go. And you can mix them together so that it fades nicely into each other. So we'll need some dark here as well. Blend those in and across. And I think in here, we'll put a little bit in there. And just blend that dark colour through. Will help to create the feeling of 3D and depth. Okay, I'm using two pens at the same time because I'm just blending them into each other. Can you see that? So here where I've got my hatching to create the mountain, I'm going to go over that in my darker blue. Just move that across so you can see. And then I'm going to come in with my grey. And I'm also going to add that into my mountain areas. So again, we're creating balance throughout the whole picture from the top to the bottom because we are including the colours from everywhere in there. Pulled that down again so it's easier for me to get to, but then you can't see what I'm doing. So there we go. Just blending some of that grey in to the other colours. Right, now we're going to do this cliff part here, and I'm going to do it mainly in this grey, and I am going to do it as though it's just sticking out like that. And then I'm going to come in with that lighter blue over the top. So we're going to have like a bluey grey kind of feel to it mixed together. But because we've gone in that direction, it kind of feels like it's moving in that direction and tilting in that direction. And then we'll get some of that darker blue and we'll just kind of come in and put that at the bottom where there would be some darker colours. And we can come in again with a slightly darker grey. I'm just coming in with that slightly darker grey, and I'm creating more shadow within all of the environment, the landscape, so that it feels more 3D. And where I've got that hatching, I'm just going over it with that darker grey a bit, and it gives that kind of sense that there's something there. Right, I think we are getting there. I do think I want to come over the snowboard again with that red across the bottom, and I do really want to make that much darker on that side. That's better. Also going to come in with a green that's a bit darker than that one and kind of just again create that 3D-ness. We need the shadows. We've got to have these shadows in. If we don't have the shadows or the highlights in, it will look flat. And we're trying to create that 3D feel. So we've got to get that in. Just think, where is there something that is overlapping something else? Where will it be darker? Where will there be shadow? If you've got the sun coming from, say, this direction, I'm trying to get everything to be dark underneath him. So it'll be dark underneath here. Be dark on that back of his head because the sun's coming from here. So you can kind of get the idea of where I'm going with that kind of 3D-ness. Okay, we are getting there. I think some of these snow things I'm going to dot round with the different blues and the different greys, and I won't do all of them because it will take forever. And I could go over the background if I wanted to, but yeah, I don't really want to. It's going to take forever. But obviously you can do that with yours. I would suggest like a really pale blue or grey, or maybe both mixed in. There we are. So we've got some of that blue in. I'm going to come in and put some of the light blue in. I'm literally, as you can see, whether it's a dot or a circle, I'm just dabbing it with the pen because that's all we need to do. We're just giving the eye something to say, oh, that's cold. And our brain will transmute that into, oh, there's snow there. I'm going to use that darker blue, see if I can get some specks of snow on the snowboard there. A bit. It's more difficult once you've coloured everything in to show where that snow is. Just put some dabs on him. There we go. Right, put some over here as well. Put some here. Make sure we're going over everything with the snow, because remember, the snow, all the sun's just come out and it's right in my face. Not that I'm complaining. So I'm going to put lots of dots over there. We actually had snow yesterday. It was really nice to wake up to. But because we're right by the sea, it just disappeared really quickly. The sea keeps us warm in the winter, so it very rarely settles here if we do get it. But the boys were happy. My kids were like, yay, no school. Because the teachers couldn't get in because they live out in areas in the sticks where it would have just been so icy, so they couldn't get in. So they had a day off, and they were very happy about that, as you can imagine. Right, we're nearly there. I'm just coming around with some of the grey in the sky now. So then we have a really good mixture of the grey and the blue in the background. Here we go. Oh, there we are. Is there anything else to do? Let's get that darker grey and maybe come on and put some shadows in some of the areas of the clouds and just maybe create that feeling of, ooh, that's a dark cloud kind of thing for our eyes. And what we can do with the lighter one is blend it up so that it doesn't feel quite so shocking, and mix it into the other grey like that. Going over in the same colour can create a really good feeling of 3D as well. But obviously sometimes you just need that darker shade to really make it feel like it's much darker. Nearly there. I think we need to come in with that slightly darker blue here. Blend that up with the lighter blue. That's better. We'll do the same on all those splashes. Give them a sense of 3D with those two values. It's all about values. If there's anything I can say to you about painting and colouring, it's about value. You need a light, a medium and a dark shade of any colour that you use. And that is the difference between a flat picture and a 3D. Right, we're coming in there with that dark grey because it's underneath that big pile of snow. So we need to make sure that that looks much darker there. And at the end of the day, I'll probably stop in a minute, but you could keep going. You could keep going and adding things and taking things away. What I'm going to do now is to put the white in. We've got quite a lot of dark on there now. So I'm going to come in with a white gel pen and I'm just going to add a few little highlights on the top areas where it's going to be lighter. So we've done the the darkest areas. Now we can come in with our white gel pen and just clarify the areas that have got maybe just a bit of sun shining on them. You see that there? Just by putting that white in, it helps to bring it alive a little bit. So I'm just going to go and do that. That's the final thing, is the highlights. Obviously, the only places you can really do that is where it's dark. You don't need highlights on areas where it's still light. So just bring that around. I'm just going to draw in some little marks on the board. Might do some on the snow as well here and here. Go slow with these gel pens. I've realised they work much better when you just do slow movements, and then you can really see them. Just put some light there as well. And I think we're pretty much done. I'll get the grey and just finish off the clouds because there's lots of white on them. We don't want too much white peeping through. And what I do sometimes like to add to my clouds is a gel pen, which is silver or gold. So we'll just see if that makes much difference. It just gives it a nice little shine. So we can give the clouds a little bit of a silver gel pen. That's just a little tip for you. When you've finished, add some gold or silver, depending on what the colour scheme is of what you're doing. And it helps, it gives it a little shimmer, just a little something extra. It's just what I like to do. So I'll go round and finish off by adding some of that in. Put some on his visor and his hat That'll look nice. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. So, hope you enjoyed that. Please subscribe, click the notification bell, and like, comment, share. All those things help YouTube to know that people are watching, and they can put it in front of other people to watch too. Okay, have a good day, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.